That driveway patch violates HOA appearance standards.
City approved it yesterday.
$79 fine.
Have a nice day.
Oh, we're gonna see a lot of each other.
You have absolutely no idea who you just threatened.
No. No way. So this HOA hasn't legally existed for 3 years. So every fine...
This man has endangered our neighborhood. I demand he leave within 10 days.
Vivian Whitmore, you're under arrest.
This is a setup. You can't do this.
You have the right to remain silent.
She spent 3 months calling me a criminal before she found out I was the chief of police. Vivian Whitmore had been HOA president for 8 years. White BMW, vanity plates. The kind of woman who measures grass with an actual ruler and shows up at your door if your garbage cans are visible 31 minutes instead of 30. My name is Marcus Rivera. 20 years with a badge. 6 months ago, I got promoted to chief of police in Millbrook Heights. I moved to Pine Grove Estates 2 years ago after my wife Sarah passed from cancer. My daughter Sophia needed stability, good schools, quiet streets, nothing fancy, just peace. Most neighbors thought I was in construction, always leaving at dawn with coffee that tasted like motor oil, coming home after dark, looking like I wrestled a bear. Unmarked cars in the driveway, men in civilian clothes stopping by for case briefings. From the outside, it probably did look suspicious. Vivian decided it was suspicious. It started with my driveway. A contractor patched a pothole with fresh asphalt, got city permits, did everything legal. The patch was maybe half a shade darker than the original concrete. $79 fine for aesthetic violation. I paid it. I was knee-deep in a drug bust investigation. Sophia was adjusting to a new school. $79 to make a lunatic disappear seemed reasonable. Then came the mailbox. 2 inches too close to the street boundary per recent bylaw amendments. $300 fine. Then a special assessment for security upgrades because my mysterious profession created elevated risk factors for the community. Then whisper campaigns at neighborhood barbecues about what I might really be doing in that house. Sophia came downstairs one morning, looking like she'd been punched. "Dad, why are the neighbors asking weird questions about us?" That's when I started paying closer attention. The pattern was textbook. 6 properties in Pine Grove had sold below market value in the past 3 years after intensive HOA harassment. The Henderson family, the Garcia family, elderly residents on fixed incomes, all hit with escalating fines until they paid or fled. Meanwhile, Vivian's husband, Rick, owed $12,000 in back assessments and hadn't received a single violation notice. Rick approached me in a grocery store parking lot with an offer to make my problems disappear for $2,000 cash. He mentioned previous situations that worked out for everyone involved, started explaining how they kept the neighborhood a certain way, made sure property values reflected the right demographics. I recorded every word. Then I went to the county clerk's office to pull the HOA's incorporation documents. Pine Grove Estates, HOA, had been dissolved 3 years ago for failure to pay state registration fees. Dissolved, legally dead, having about as much authority as a neighborhood kids club. I read it 3 times because the implications were staggering. Every fine she had issued was theft. Every lien threat was fraud. Every assessment she had collected, $37,000 over 3 years, had been stolen from residents who trusted her authority. She had kept the letterhead, maintained the bank account, and kept playing HOA president of an organization that no longer existed, and nobody had checked. At Wednesday night's emergency meeting, Vivian stood at her podium in front of 60 residents and laid out her case against me. Photos of unmarked cars, men in civilian clothes, charts showing how my presence threatened community safety and property values. She demanded $8,000 in accumulated fines and my removal from the neighborhood within 10 days. When she finished, she asked if I wanted to respond. I walked to the front of the room and set my phone on the podium to record. Then I asked her one question. When did you last pay state registration fees to maintain your corporate status? The air conditioning kicked on in the silence that followed. Then I set my police chief badge on the podium next to the phone. "Vivian," I said, You're under arrest for operating a criminal enterprise, theft by deception, and conspiracy to commit fraud. The community center erupted. Vivian screamed about entrapment while Detective Coleman put handcuffs on her. Braden, the 25-year-old she had hired to surveil my daughter's school with a telephoto lens, ran for the exit and ran directly into the waiting arms of my second detective. We recovered $47,000 for the 28 families they had systematically robbed over 3 years. Money that went toward home repairs and medical bills and college funds that victims had been struggling to afford while paying fraudulent fines. Mrs. Patterson became president of the new legitimately incorporated HOA. Her first act was abolishing aesthetic violation fines entirely. Sophia organized the first block party. Kids actually wanted to stay. 6 months later, I was speaking at a police academy about community policing, and someone asked what the most important lesson of the whole investigation was. I thought about Sarah, about those first quiet mornings in Pine Grove when everything felt like it might be okay again. About Sophia getting sideways looks at the bus stop because of a woman's whisper campaign. Sometimes the best police work, I told them, is patience, documentation, and letting criminals provide their own evidence while you wait. The orange traffic cones Braden used to block my driveway the night he thought he had authority over me, we turned them into planters for the community garden. They're full of sunflowers now.